Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. Today is day 14 of a video every day in October. This one is going up a little late in the day, but we're going to be making two pretty quick but simple, also that's the same thing, quick and simple cards. I got an idea. I will link the pin where I found the idea down below. I'm going to change a little bit about it. But basically using these two for both cards. It's from the Stampin' Up! Monster Bash. And I ordered several like samplers off of Etsy because I really liked the paper and I wanted a back stock. I just put them all in one bag. So it came from here. The other side of these that we won't be using are those two. So I also found that I do have thick black cardstock. I didn't think I did, but just to make it easier, and also I already had these cut and folded, I'm just going to trim this down to a panel size for our background instead of having the black card base, so that I can write easily inside without having to use like a white gel pen, which would probably just smear anyway. So I am going to cut these to 5.5, and I'm going to do 4 1/4, and I hope these are close enough to the same so that I can just use those pieces. And these ones, when I fold my card bases, I get that kind of overfold lap. So I'm going to trim that off so that I don't have to cover that as the card base. So that one should be okay. This one I will do the same thing. It's kind of difficult to just cut off just a strip. Okay, so that should be fine. I'm going to trim a little bit more of this one, but it's going to go through both, so I want to give it a couple go-throughs. The rotary trimmer with the circle blade is pretty good for that. I got rid of my trimmer that had like the point blade a long time ago, and I've had this one ever since. I've honestly been using this blade for a very long time, and I've only cut myself on it once, so there's that. We will need that back, but we're gonna stick these down first. I'm gonna try and get my tape gun without bonking you. I'll put the adhesive down to the card base, and then I can work with my panel that way. We'll just do both of these at the same time. Okay. So this one belongs to here. You want to start at the spine. Just in case there is an overhang, we can trim that. And I think this is a little bit taller than it needs to be, so that's okay, because it'll cover it. So we have that card base, and then make sure we're at the spine edge. Probably should have picked that one up a little bit. Try that again. Okay. That's lined up a little bit better. So then the idea is I'll set one of these aside. So we're going to be going this way, like looking at it this way. And what I want is a like half and half corner split. You'll see in the example down below. If you want to pause and look at that first, that's fine, but it's kind of like half diagonal, half diagonal. So what I'm going to do first is we want the black to show, but we also want the black to show in the middle. So when I trim this down, I don't want to trim it down only by this much, because then with the split, I still need to move them apart by about that much as well. And if I don't take that into account and we want to show the gap in the middle, we're back at the edge again. So if that makes sense, what we want to do is trim it about 1/8 of an inch times 2, so 1/4 of an inch less than the card base. So the across is going to be less by 1/4 of an inch, which unfortunately is right where my markers are not on my thing, but I've learned where my 5 1/4 is, so that's fine. And then 4 1/4 minus 1/4 is 4, so we're going to go 4. So we have one piece. This is going to go for in between 2 cards. And then we're going to do the same with the, I'll hold on to that piece, the spider web. So 5 1/4 and 4 inches. Okay. So now what you want to do in your trimmer, ideally, I'm not sure how else you would do it. What you could do if you don't have a trimmer, or it wouldn't work very well in your trimmer, if you have a scoreboard, you could line it up in a scoreboard and score lightly and then cut along that line if you have scissors. That would be an option too, but you just want to make your points. I have this, basically this trench here that my blade has been creating over time, so I can tell where it cuts. So I'm going to put each point right in the line of that trench so that I get the split I'm looking for, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do the same with the bats. Make sure my points, whenever I line one up, the other one has gone out of line. So line them up and then cut those. And then now we have 2. So now we just need to pair them up together. Okay. So we're going to have this one. This one's going to be down here. And then this one up here and this one here. Hopefully all of that made sense. So what we're going to do is kind of eyeball where they need to be, but if you figure your 1/8 of an inch area, you should be fine. And I'm just going to use a tape runner. If you're using a tape runner and your paper is a little thinner, I think Stampin' Up! Cardstock, I feel like it's just a little bit thinner than the average cardstock, which is fine. You just want to be careful when you're using a very strong adhesive runner. You don't pull too hard and crumple your paper. I could leave this on here as a guide, but I kind of know what I'm looking for here. You can eyeball it and you'll be pretty close. I'm going to zoom in a little for the rest of it. I want to make sure I hold my corner taut, because that's the part that would crumple first. Then you can always drag adhesive into your corners if you need to, but just put the adhesive on the strongest parts of the paper first. And then we're going to, I think I want to do this the same way as the other ones. Just turn it around. It's easier to eyeball from this direction. And then you're good. So there is the base for one of them. Let's do the same. On the other card. Again, the top left is easier for me to work with. So we will do it that way. Might not be perfect. Protect that very sensitive corner. That's going to be this one here, the one that's the pointiest, skinniest corner. And just make sure you have plenty of adhesive. Again, I'm going to do this upside down. And then kind of match it. Okay, so now we've got our 2 bases, and then I want to do a couple different things. The example that I'm linking down below had a couple of die cuts, like a scalloped one behind a normal circle, kind of like the new Christmas circles dies from Pretty Pink Posh that just came out like yesterday, I think. But I want to use embellishments, so I'm going to be using a house. I think this is something Boo. I can't remember the collection for that one. So sorry. And then I found 2 sentiments from the ephemera for the Echo Park Halloween Party. So in there I found this one, which I thought would go good with the Orange Witch background. And then for the house, I figured I would do that one, but I'm going to lift that up on foam. And this is just like a chipboard sticker, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that down in kind of the middle. I can go above center a little bit before I stick it down. These aren't the greatest at staying. This one's pretty good, but a lot of people I know will add like glue on the back of that just to give it extra. But that has a pretty good stick. You can just kind of press the back of the card into it. And then I'm going to use the dimensionals that I have for the sentiment. And that should only need 4. And those these witch things are from those Target Spritz boxes, those Halloween buckets of like chipboard stickers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look up on Target like Spritz Halloween. I don't know if they have them every year. I think they had different ones this year. I think these were from at least 2 years ago. So there is one of our cards. But these are kind of the same thing. You just peel it off. It has a backing and it's a sticker. That's pretty sticky. You can always just add adhesive. It's a strong piece of chipboard. Oops. Oh, I exactly ran out of tape. Good timing. Good thing I don't need any more. We will, that can be in the middle. It doesn't have to cross over. So I will stick her down in the middle there. Press that together. And then I think I have enough dimensionals here still to put her sentiment on. So 2 super quick, easy, non-stamping to use up your chipboard stickers, ephemera, phrases. That do involve a fun trick and having to do a little bit of math in figuring out how to get 1/8 of an inch all around, including the middle. So those are our 2 very easy, super cute cards, and gives me a reason to use things that I did not ever need to buy, like buckets of chipboard stickers. So there's that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Thanks. Bye.